Wow, man, what a wild ride at the end of day two here, and all this media attention that I did not expect was very, very interesting. I don't know if you can tell I'm tired. Had to be up at 4:30 this morning. Hey YouTube, Ben here. This is my beautiful wife, Crystal.
Hey YouTube.
Well, last couple days have been pretty wild, but I think it's over with now. And we just wanted to tell you a little bit about our experience and what it was like kind of being thrust into the national spotlight all of a sudden. Crystal's going to tell you how this all kind of started the other day.
So it was Valentine's Day, and Ben called me up when I got off of work and was like, hey, the FBI is on the way to the house. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, you remember that comment that I reported to them last September? I was like, yes. He says, well, they just called me and said they wanted to follow up with some additional questions. I was like, that's kind of odd. He's like, yeah, I think it may have something to do with what happened today. I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. So the day went on, I got home, and Ben further described what was going on. I was like, wow. So it has the same name as that guy, so it really might be him. And he's like, I guess so. So Ben and I went out on our Valentine's date. We went to a restaurant, and when we got there, we realized there was going to be a 30 to 45 minute wait. So he and I went and sat in the van with our little buzzer, and while we were there, he was like, hey, this is pretty interesting. I think I might make a YouTube video about it and put it on my channel so that my viewers can know what happened to me. I was like, okay, we got plenty of time. So he set up his camera, he made a quick YouTube video, we went in, we ate dinner, went about our night, went home. Nothing out of the ordinary yet, other than the odd circumstance that, of the coincidence of the connection between him and what happened in Florida. So right before we went to sleep, though, we get a text message from a BuzzFeed reporter, and then she ends up calling us, or we call her. I'm not sure if she asked us to call or if she called us, but she says, I saw your video on YouTube and I just want to know, is it true? And Ben was like, yeah, of course it's true. And she says, well, do you have any proof? Well, we did have the screenshot. We had the email that he had sent to the email address that he found on the internet somewhere that, of course, as y'all know, got bounced back and he ended up having to call. But we sent those over to her, and she obviously believed it was enough to corroborate our story. So she must have published something that night, because when Ben and I woke up the next morning, our life got insane.
Yeah, they woke up to 74 missed phone calls, and the phone was still ringing and never stopped ringing. It was crazy. Started getting text messages on my business line, on my cell phone, through Facebook Messenger, through Twitter. Just any medium you can think of, I was getting messages through.
And I had shared the video also on my Facebook page, so there were even comments on the video on my Facebook page, asking to get in touch with Ben. So they were trying any way they could to get in touch with Ben.
Yeah, so I started answering the calls, talking to the media, setting up times and schedules and stuff like that. But it got so overwhelming so fast that Crystal here, she took over. She took over the phones and started scheduling and started, planning out the day and what media outlet I was going to talk to next, and she did an amazing job. I couldn't have done it without her.
Yeah, when he first handed it over to me, he's like, maybe I should be writing this stuff down. I was like, so, I had kind of a mess to start with, but I think I did okay with getting it straightened out. I had him going from, at one point we had like 4 or 5 news outlets here at the office, and I had him lined up. I'm like, you turn this way to this person, and then once you finish talking to them, this one's gonna step in and you're gonna be looking at that camera. I mean, I had him literally lined up doing 4 interviews, like back to back to back. Here's Ben getting ready to go live with 2 different news crews. He's going with
I have no comment.
Doug Walker first, and then the lady in red, and then over here we've got
The news reporter
a
wasn't
couple
able
more
to
set up wanting to get their turns in. So it's kind of crazy right now. And that wasn't it. I mean, we had Skype calls. We had newspaper reporters showing up to take notes. We had, Facebook calls. We had vloggers on the phone. We did radio interviews. We went. It's just amazing how many interviews we were able to fit into that one day.
What was the FBI's response when you alerted them?
They came out to my office the very next morning in person and met with me, and they took down as much information as I could give them, and they left.
Hey Ben, this is Amanda in New York.
Hey,
Hi. Is there any way we can get your camera higher, or is that the lowest?
we can. We can into that live box. Yeah, I think we can.
People go over to your left a little bit. Yeah, right there would be perfect. Just a little closer to the camera. It's perfect if you could stay like that. Thank you so much.
Let's talk a little bit more now about those missed signals. Joining me now is BenTheBondsman. Last September, he alerted FBI officials after he came across a YouTube comment by a user named Nicholas Cruz. That comment read, "I'm going to be a professional school shooter." Ben, thank you for joining us. Walk me through what happened, your contacts with the FBI.
FBI about Cruz, BenTheBondsman. Okay, so Ben, you see this comment under your YouTube video that says, "I want to be a professional school shooter," and you contacted.
But through it all the media, for the most part, was really, really nice, really courteous, accommodating. They were. There was one news outlet that staked out the office, waiting for me to come back the next day, which that was kind of weird. But for the most part, everybody respected my family. Nobody, to my knowledge, nobody showed up at my house. Nobody disrupted my home life. Everybody came here to the office, and everything was done right here. So I do appreciate that, and I appreciate how nice everybody was through this whole process. And also the commenters, the messages
We
that
got
we
a lot of
received.
support from you guys. I mean, almost 90% of it was all positive feedback that we received.
Yeah, a lot of great messages, a lot of, thanks for reporting it, thanks for stepping up. Personally, I kept telling the media, it's like, I don't see what the big deal is about me reporting this comment. I feel like it's something that any sensible, responsible person would do. And everybody kept saying that it was unusual and it was, somehow out of the box, and I just didn't feel like it was.
Well, I know one thing, like, a lot of people are like, a lot of stuff is said on the internet, and, why did you report this? I mean, you look at his channel now and people are saying the exact same thing. I don't know why people are like that. But there was a difference between this one. There was something that struck a chord with him.
Well, yeah, the people that are making that comment right now are just making it on the heels of all this media attention. But at the time that comment came in, there was nothing going on. It was just a comment out of the blue that really stood out above the rest of them. I didn't feel like it was a snarky or sarcastic comment because it wasn't relevant to anything on my channel. When the FBI came out to the house, they were real courteous too. Everybody's been courteous and, real nice through this whole thing. you know, I'm seeing some comments about, oh, the FBI must have done this or persuaded me to say this or say that. You know, the FBI hasn't encouraged or discouraged me from doing any of this. You know, I'm sure they weren't happy when they saw the video hit the mainstream media.
I know when he first told me he was going to do it, I was like, are you allowed to do that? I said, you know, is the FBI going to be upset? Are you about to get us in a lot of trouble? And, you know, he made a good point. And the point that he made to me was what, you know, when I agreed, okay, yes, let's do this. The people need to know.
I simply said, I'm a YouTuber. They didn't tell me not to. I mean, YouTubers make videos. That's what we do. So, I went ahead and made the video.
I do want to address one thing that we're seeing a lot of in the comments, and, you know, it's a valid question, and all the reporters are asking it, and I want Ben to kind of explain, how on earth did you not know what video this comment was made on?
I wish I did. I really wish I did. I've seen a few. Oh, there's no way he can't know. Find out what video it was. And people are going through my videos trying to guess which one. Even a couple of the reporters were sending me links to my own videos saying, could it have been this one? Could it have been this one? Listen, I don't know. But here, I'm going to show you what happens when a comment comes in and how that whole thing went down. Because right now I got a lot of comments coming in, so it's not hard to make an example. For those of you that aren't familiar with the YouTube creator apps and what we do, I'm just going to give you a little example of how it works when I get a comment. And this is a perfect example. I don't know if you can see that, but that top comment there says, I'm a professional school shooter. Which we've seen a lot of that on this video the last 2 days. So I simply click on the comment, it opens it up, and all it gives me is the option to reply, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down, heart it, or I can hit these 3 dots here and report it as spam, and it says report this comment as spam and remove it, report. And that's it. I never see, you see it says down here, comment removed. I never see the video itself. Now, can I go see the video itself? Sure I can. I just chose not to. I screenshotted it and reported it and forwarded it to the FBI. Something I'm seeing in the comments a lot is, I saw a few people say that I report everything and I screenshot everything. Well, I don't feel the need to defend myself, but I will say that this is the first time I have ever reported any comment or anything off of social media to the FBI or any law enforcement agency.
Now, you do report a lot of stuff as spam. When you get comments that don't belong, we do report things as spam.
YouTube, social media's got a ton of keyboard commandos and they say inappropriate stuff all the time. That stuff I'm going to report every time. Apparently people thinking we're making tons of money off of the media and charging for all these interviews. How much money have you made off of this?
0.
Wow, that's weird because I haven't made any money either. Nobody has paid us anything for doing any interviews, for doing any talk shows or anything.
You did have the one offer.
Yeah, I had one offer, but I didn't even acknowledge the offer. I told them I'd do the interview and move forward from there. And there was no other further discussion about money. Their message simply said, we'd like to speak with you, we'll compensate you for your time. I replied to their message, I said I'd be glad to speak with you, and there was no further discussion about any kind of money. So we are not getting paid for what we're doing. Matter of fact, I lost a whole day and a half of business because of all the phone calls, text messages, media in and out of here. The 2 separate companies that operate out of this office were completely shut down for a day and a half. We lost a lot of money, but that's okay. It's just part of it. So that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes life gets interrupted unexpectedly. We did not expect this kind of national attention. That wasn't the intention behind the YouTube video. The intention was just, hey, this is a unique experience. Let me share it with the people that follow me on YouTube.
I don't think we even realized how important what happened to Ben was when we made the YouTube video. Obviously it was very important and it was something that needed to be brought to light, but we just didn't think of it that way at the time.
Yeah, another question the media asked me a lot was, how do you feel about, how things happened? And at the time I didn't have time to process everything. I didn't know everything. I was so busy being in the media, I wasn't able to follow the news stories. So now that there's a lot more information out, I feel much differently than I felt it on that day. So I'm going to be making a couple of videos about, the whole thing in the next couple of days.
And I think we discussed possibly doing a live question and answer on YouTube. If there are people interested in doing that, Ben would get on, he would answer the questions while I sat with him and read them, and I think that might be beneficial to everyone.
So we'll let you guys know if we decide to do that live. It'll probably be mid next week. Anyway, that's all for now. This has been
And Crystal.
signing out.
This is nuts. My camera's not quite as nice as theirs.